The 25,800-acre Cabin Butte Vegetation Management Project is located less than a mile from thousands of homes in Bend's urban growth boundary. Over the next decade, the Forest Service plans to thin stands of overstocked trees, mow and masticate flammable brush, and conduct prescribed burns to reduce fuels and reduce the threat of wildfires spreading from this area into town.
While a closure is something we were trying really hard to avoid, we do understand why it's finally having to happen, along with all the different humanitarian issues and different things out here. With the Veg project, it also needs to be closed just for safety, with fire mitigation, with all the other things they're working on.
Jeremy Evans is one of the original founders of Public Land Stewards of Bend. Over the past decade, the group has removed nearly 1 million pounds of trash, junked cars, and target shooting debris from around Coyote and Cabin Buttes, and from dozens of user-made campsites along China Hat Road.
Closure is our last recourse that we want to see happen, but we do understand why it's happening out here, and we're still continuing to work with them very closely on the future of this area, what it's going to look like when it opens back up. Ideally, we're going to still be involved with the community, and public will still be in some forms with, and helping with PLS to be involved with cleaning up the remnants of what's out here after it's closed.
The threat of wildfires burning across this land and spreading into Bend is real and has already happened several times. Most notably, the Skeleton Fire in 1996 that vaporized 19 homes in the Sundance subdivision.
Starting May 1st, the whole area is closed for what they're guessing to be approximately 1 year. Both of our access to Boyd and Skeleton Cave will be shut off, making it so that for a year we're not able to guide visitors down into either cave.
That's a pretty popular experience, is it not?
It is, yeah. Over the course of a year, it takes up roughly about a third of our business.
The half-day trips are ideal for people looking for an adventure underground with a company that cares about the unique subterranean ecosystem and has spent hundreds of hours sandblasting graffiti from the cave walls and cleaning up trash.
Can't take your guests into Boyd or Skeleton Cave.
Yeah, uncertain right now, but working with the Forest Service to kind of find some creative alternatives that still allow our guests to experience and explore caves while giving the closure the space and time that it needs for them to complete their restoration project.
Historically, these dry ponderosa pine forests had frequent low-severity fires every 5 to 35 years. But for the past century, fire exclusion has resulted in dense stands of trees that are susceptible to insects, disease, and high-intensity fires.
For conversation's sake,
Sure.
It is a 1-year closure, and they do their ladder fuels and their vegetation treatment. What would be a good outcome?
Developing areas for appropriate use. You've got the shooting community, you've got the mountain biking community, equestrian, our off-road guys. If we can develop this, my ideal outcome would be to develop all different areas of this whole region that really benefit all the different groups that want to use it. Rather than shutting it off to any one group or saying only one thing is allowed, really getting all of the user groups. From the beginning, PLS Bend has just been about keeping public lands open and accessible for everyone, not just our particular interest, which is so often special interest groups sort of shut other elements of the community out, and you kind of turn into tribalism instead of a true community.
While the Forest Service is announcing a 1-year closure effective May 1st.
It's a 10-year project. So while the closure is set to be at least a year, they could get to a year and be like, it's not ready, another year. It's not ready, another year. So that's the slightly frightening part, is the kind of indeterminate amount of time.
The closure will be enforced with fines and possible jail sentences. The question is, where will the use shift when these lands are closed? And will the problems, the illegal dumping of trash and toxic materials, shift with the use? Or will the public clean up its act? From the Cabin Butte Vegetation Management Project, I'm Brooks Snavely for The Great Outdoors.